Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. It's nice to see all your smiley faces. Very busy day today. We were up in Massachusetts, in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, and then over in West Springfield, spotlighting some cool restaurants for the lifestyle travel TV series that I host on CBS. And I know many of you were following our travels on Facebook and drooling over some of the food video that we were posting. So we did that whole drive, and we're back up that way tomorrow again, actually, for more TV shoots, and busy time. And then have a television news shoot happening on Saturday morning. We've got a guest that's flying in to the East Coast for that. Just a busy time. And then just made sure I got here just in time. Just flew in the door to turn the lights on and to join all of you on our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, The Jim Masters Show Live. If this is your first time here, we welcome you. It's a pleasure to have you here. Hope you guys are doing well. It's nice to see all your smiley faces. Make sure that you comment live if you'd like to. You can do that when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV. You have the privilege, and it's a gift that we give you guys when you subscribe. There's that red button. Make sure you hit that red button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Click the notification bell so you never miss any of our incredible episodes. Some 600 plus episodes of our series we've done and counting. Don't forget to give the episode a like. It's a little thumbs up icon there on the YouTube channel. Give it a like, and also leave a comment for us on the YouTube channel as well. We see a lot of comments coming in here from everybody. We call that group our JMS Levity Squad. That's right. They are the real faithful who join us here on the Jim Masters Show Live, where we have poignant conversations, great entertainment, light, love, levity, and our famous levity as well, as we always say. So it's good to see everybody here. And we're going to take a look at the comments that are coming in. Feel free, if you want to comment live, again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Well, we'd love it if you subscribed anyway, because it helps us big time as we continue to grow by leaps and bounds. I can't believe the amount of people watching our series live and also watching later on in the archives. It's so cool. If this is your first time, welcome. Is this your 600th time? We welcome you as well. Liam Forde is joining us here live and direct from New York City. We're very excited to have him here. And he's a terrific singer, songwriter, actor, and so much more. Matter of fact, he's New York based. He's originally from Connecticut. He just released the first single and music video, When My World's in Tune, from his upcoming debut album of original pop and jazz songs called Sterling and Dreamy by the Huffing Post. The music video is incredible. The full album, Great to Be Here, going to be released March 25th. It's going to be celebrating that occasion with a concert that night at Rockwood Music Hall, which is really exciting. Again, he's a New York-based singer-songwriter whose cosmopolitan chamber pop blends a vintage vibe with contemporary influences like Jon Batiste and Lake Street Dive and Ben Folds as well. His authentic points of view create something fresh while drawing from a decidedly 1960s soundscape that by turns encompasses the dry wit of Noël Coward, the infectious rhythms of Stevie Wonder, and the dramatic sweep of Michel Legrand. His new album is engineered by Grammy Award nominee Geoff Countryman, who's worked with Patti LaBelle and Wu-Tang and many others. He's already received press accolades, too, in the Wall Street Journal. Will Friedwald raved, "The boy wonder never fails to find precisely the right note." And Peter Marks in the Washington Post called Liam the breakout performance of the summer. And according to Nightlife Exchange, he's also taken the community by storm. He's a recipient of many honors, too, including the Bistro Award for Performer on the Rise, the Nightlife Award for Outstanding Male Vocalist, the Mabel Mercer Foundation Julie Wilson Award, and the Helen Hayes Award for Outstanding Performance by a Lead Actor as well. And that, gang, is just the short list of our guests' accolades and background, but he loves what he does. He's very passionate about it, and we're very excited to have him here on the show. So, gang, as you continue to comment live, nice to see everybody. We'll take a look at those comments. We'll show a few of them as well. Good to have you guys here. Join me in welcoming Liam live and direct from New York City, right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. And yes, gang, he is going to perform live some music for us as well. Liam, welcome to the show, my friend. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Great to be here.
So how are you tonight? Busy? Is it an off night? Are you relaxing? Are you working hard? Or all the above?
truth be told, as I was waiting to enter the room and listening to your fabulous introduction, I did pour myself a little cheeky scotch. I hope that's all right.
Very nice. That's always all right. Are you kidding? My God, you're Irish and I have Irish, so that's a must.
Just a little drop, you know?
Just a little drop. So how are things for you? We've been talking to a lot of people about how crazy everything has been, with the pandemic and everything, and it's sort of halted the world for a bit, and especially artists, they've had to try to find ways to come back from it all. But you've been very busy. I mean, again, you've got this new album. Congratulations on that. So you've been turning and churning during all of this, huh?
Yeah, it was kind of eating at me for years and years. I felt like I had all of this creativity inside, and I was just wondering what is keeping me from creating this thing for myself. And I think the short answer is time.
Yes.
If you didn't have the time to do it, and then most actors, everything kind of dropped out from that. Nobody had a job. Broadway shut down, and
Right.
I'm also a voice teacher, and I'm working with Broadway singers, but there was nothing to work on, and nobody had any money, and so I got to work on the album. I met with my dear friend Zach, who's the album producer, and we made it happen.
That is fantastic. Congratulations on that, my friend. Congratulations. For you growing up in West Hartford, Connecticut, did you have some early influences within the family musically, or was it something that you captured while in school? What were some of those early inspirations for you that brought you into performance, singing, songwriting, acting, the arts in general?
My parents are not musicians, and they appreciate. I don't mean to insult my parents. My parents are wonderful people. They always encouraged me, but they're not. I wouldn't call them incredibly musical people. If they're watching, they're going to say, "Hey." But
we sang you nursery rhymes when you were in a bassinet, Liam. That's singing.
It's so funny you mention a nursery rhyme, because one of the earliest memories I have of being moved by music was a cassette tape of the nursery rhyme. Oh dear, what can the matter be, Johnny, so long at the fair? I remember being like 6 years old and in the car, and that came on, and it broke my heart, actually, because I thought, she's wondering where Johnny is, and what if Johnny doesn't come back? What's she going to do?
Right. Yes.
So I was always kind of fascinated with the way that words and music kind of mingled together, which I think got me into the storytelling songs of the Great American Songbook. Like my sister brought home the Ella Fitzgerald Sings the Best of the Songbooks CD, and we shared a wall, her bedroom on one side, mine on the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard this, the first track on this album is the Johnny Mercer tune, Something's Gotta Give.
Mm-hmm.
When an irresistible force such as you meets an old immovable object like me, you can bet as sure as you live, something's gotta give, something's gotta give, something's gotta give. And I remember hearing that, and just like the way that words,
I like how smoothly you just did that. Just in and out.
You know what lyric killed me? The Duke Ellington song, I Got It Bad and That Ain't Good.
Oh, yeah.
And then the lyric, the poets say that all who love are blind, but I'm in love and I know what time it is. The poets say that all who love are blind, but I'm in love and I know what time it is. I was 12 and I was like, whoa, that's cool. So I hope that answers your question. I've always been kind of a freak about words and music.
Yeah. But you also act, in addition to being a singer-songwriter, you're also an actor. Is there one that pulls you more? Are you more the actor who happens to sing and songwrite, or are you the singer-songwriter who loves to act?
It's hard to say because, part of it has been the pandemic. There just hasn't really been that much work. It's picking up now, I'm very happy to say. So auditions are picking up, but I haven't been on stage in a very, very long time. So right now, I would probably tell you I'm a singer-songwriter who acts, but before that, I would have said the inverse of that.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll see how it goes. I love to do all of it, and I don't think I could I don't think I could choose
One over the other.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
degree is in theater, which I think is my
Yeah.
greatest love. It's my favorite place to be. It's my church, if you will.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, what was one of the first big opportunities for you? As you're coming up the ranks there, what was one of the linchpin things for you when you were a kid that sort of set the ball rolling for you?
Well, when I was in high school, I became a part of a vocal fellowship through the Bushnell Center for the Performing
Bushnell,
Arts.
yeah, in Hartford, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you know the Bushnell. I actually just taught a master class there for
Did you?
the young fellows 2 weekends ago, 3
Oh,
weekends ago.
wow. How cool
Yeah,
is that, huh?
it was really cool. I loved it. I love working with the youth, the talent of tomorrow, and to give back to the program that gave me so much. So
That's
I
great.
got my voice lessons paid for. I got to work with a fantastic vocal coach. We had monthly master classes, and we didn't have a ton of money growing up, so to be able to have access to that type of training really meant something. And
It's
the
fantastic.
other great thing is I'm from West Hartford, and I went to public school, and the music program was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember I was part of I was playing flute in jazz band, but my jazz band teacher kind of said, just come on the day of the concert and read through the charts. You'll be fine. And then there was an all female vocal jazz group. And he let me kind of be the music director for them. And I got to write those vocal arrangements for them and lead all of
Wow.
that. And it was the best part of my day. Anytime that I
Yeah.
got to go to jazz band and work with those singers, that
Hmm.
and drama practice, of course.
That's incredible. Did you have any involvement with the Hart School of Music?
Well, I took my vocal coaching there, so we used their space. And I was a part of some other program because at one point I thought I was going to be doing classical flute. So I was a part of an orchestra, and I wish I could remember the name of it. I couldn't tell you, but we also I think that was through Heart.
Mm, yeah, they're really good too. So many
Yeah,
people
a fantastic program.
yeah, so many people have come out of there.
Yeah,
Um, so when you decided to make the big move to the Big Apple, when was that, Liam, for you?
that was 2011.
2011. And was there a specific opportunity, or did you just want to get in there and take a crack at it? What was happening for you at that time?
Uh, the first time I went to New York, I knew that I wanted to be here. I just thought anybody I knew who lived in New York, I
Yeah.
just thought I had such stars in my eyes for them. My half sister, I remember, was living in Queens, and I thought that, the fact that she lived in New York City, I really wanted to go visit her, and just to be. I have a lot of energy, as you can probably tell, but to be around um, that type of energy and the arts, be around so many artists was very inspiring to me. So I always knew I wanted to be here. But the main reason was, I graduated from Boston Conservatory, and most people, if you wanted to have a career in the theater, you move to New York. So I loved it at an early age, and it just kind of seemed like the natural thing to do. I moved into Queens. Lived in Queens for 6 years. Loved
Mm,
it.
yeah.
Terrific food in
Yes.
Queens.
Big Irish contingent there too.
Yes,
Sunnyside,
yes.
Woodside, Astoria, those areas.
Yeah,
Yes.
there was a great Irish bar that I used to go. Like my comfort food is those Irish breakfasts, with the rashers
Oh.
and the beans and the tomatoes and the tea and the. My dad would make that every Sunday morning. I loved that, and he still makes
Mm.
it when I come to hang in Ireland.
Because your dad is from Ireland originally, right?
He is Father
Yeah.
Forde, we call him.
Your father. And you were mentioning, is it Leeds or Donegal where he's from originally? Or
Well, he was born in Leeds,
Leeds.
but his uncle left him a house and some land in Donegal.
Yeah.
Um, so he's doing the full on Irish thing. He's raising sheep, and I've got some hilarious videos of him tending the flock, and it's to an American, that Irish countryside living is impossibly quaint. It seems like a movie.
It does, doesn't it? The lush green, and then of course, have you been to the Cliffs of Moher? I mean, that's just like something out of, you know, I don't know, some sort of a novel, or it's just really
Yeah.
lush and foggy and
Yeah.
just everything. You start to hear harps and flutes and you and I were chatting about some of the folks I've had an opportunity to work with. Sir James Galloway, of course, who's been a guest on this show, and I've worked with him at Carnegie Hall. Flute is something that has been near and dear to you in many ways too, huh?
Yeah, my best friend, Pam, who's still my best friend, played the flute, and I just kind of wanted to impress her. So she was playing the flute. So I thought that maybe I should learn to play the flute too when we were choosing our band instruments. So I think that's really how the flute started.
Yeah.
Then I remember the first time I couldn't even get a sound out of the flute. It's a when you're learning something,
Oh yeah.
it's a very particular way, stream of air, and the embouchure, and
yes, it's difficult.
oh, it was so frustrating. My dad actually got a sound out of the flute.
Did he
Right off.
really?
Yeah, but so I thought that I was going to be a classical musician, but then I just realized every time that I had to practice the flute, I hated it. What I wanted to do was watch plays and think about text, and I wanted to go to the piano and look at the vocal selections from like shows and look at chords, which I think is part of how I started getting into jazz music, just seeing the chords and the melody over it, what they would call a lead sheet, and kind of my hands finding these chords over the melody, and then realizing you can embellish things and kind of let your ears lead you to different places. And that was magical. I could sit at the piano for hours and just let my imagination wander within the construct of those chords and I think the chord progressions of those songs from the Great American Songbook, those still touch me the most. They really, I'm a huge sap. I'm very, very sentimental, which I think once I embraced that in the pandemic, I was able to start writing, because I kept worrying, oh, this is going to be cheesy. This is going to be so. But then when I embraced, well, I am sentimental.
There's nothing wrong with
romantic.
Idealism and Pollyanna and all that. As a matter of fact, bring that back. There's been a shortage of that. We've been talking about that for 2 years on this show, but I'm right there with you. I'm exactly that way. And, empathy is very important. Kindness, and to express it through your art and through what you do, is a beautiful thing and a blessed thing. So yeah, don't ever suppress it or say, it's not in vogue right now, because what goes around comes around.
Amen. Yeah, I'm hoping with this album, I'm hoping to bring back some romance.
Yes. Tell us about this album. What was the inspiration for it? What was your vision and hope and desire in creating it?
I've been feeling for a long time now that my aesthetic, hey, that's me.
There it is.
In a bodega wearing a cravat.
Very dapper.
Like, do you have any idea how long it took me to get that goop out of my hair? That's me trying to be a mix of Noël Coward and Katharine Hepburn.
Did it take longer to take the goop out of the hair or put the goop in?
No, I'm not kidding you. It took a week to get that goop out of my hair. It was a nightmare, but I was pleased with how the hair turned out, so it was worth it.
Yes, absolutely.
I like the pictures.
Where was that taken? That shot?
Okay, so I went to this bodega I live in Brooklyn. I go to this bodega, and I go to the guy. Actually, it was my sister's idea. She said, you can't, if you're going to do pictures in this like dapper kind of opera attire, you have to do it at some place that feels you can't take a picture in front of the opera in opera attire. You have to juxtapose it with something.
You have to have a whole stance and all of this and a certain look. And
so we thought, oh, well, let's go to a bodega. what's more New Yorky and authentic than a bodega, the fluorescent lights and just kind of maybe weird bodega cats, the ATMs. There's just a very particular, I love that picture.
I'll have one of these and one of these, and I'll have one of these.
Hello. Yeah, it's a little strange.
Yeah. Welcome to my sort of wine cellar. Maybe not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the jars of, like, what is it? Red Bull and
pinto beans. And
so I go to the guy behind the counter. I said, would you be down to let me take some pictures in here tonight? We'll come in here and just take pictures. He thinks for a second. He goes, how long are you going to be here?
How long are you going to be here?
I said, we could be in and out in a half an hour.
Yeah.
He goes, what time? I said, you tell me.
Yeah.
I said 6 o'clock. He goes, what are you going to pay me?
What are you going to pay me?
I said, I'll give you $50.
$50. Very generous.
All right. So he did it.
So he made $50 on you being able to use that as the background. And
yeah.
Well, it's definitely a contrast, isn't it, between the way you're dressed and the look and the whole vibe, and then being in the bodega. It's just an interesting. This was your sister's idea, because it's really cool. It's so interesting.
My sister has fantastic taste.
Yeah, she's just like a dichotomy in a way. It's really, really cool. I love it. And that's, again, those shots were for the cover and getting ideas for the theme and everything. I love the name. I love the name of the album, the title, When My World's in Tune. Because, when our world is in tune, it's beautiful. A lot of beautiful things happen. A lot of things are now right. A lot of things we notice more deeply when the world's in tune. And at times, as we've realized the last 2 years, it's been out of tune. And in certain ways, it's still out of tune a little bit. I love the play on words with that, when my world's in tune. Tell us about that.
Well, the name of the first song on the album is When My World's in Tune. The album is called Great to Be Here. But
which is fantastic.
Thank you. It's got a kind of old-fashioned, cheeky ring to it. And I just, as soon as I was brainstorming ideas, I just thought, that's it. Great to be here. Because I often say that, especially when I'm when I'm lucky enough to be in a show, I often find myself just saying it. It's great to be here.
Great to be here. Absolutely.
So when my world's in tune, I think I often feel out of tune with the world around me, not just during the pandemic, just kind of current pop culture. A lot of it doesn't speak to me. I think a lot of it is I just don't feel the romance. I don't feel the tenderness. I don't feel the, I don't want to dwell on things that I don't like about the current world I live in, because there are a lot of things I do like. But so then I just started thinking about the circumstances in my life when I feel like I am in tune, when I do love what is happening. And it's when I think I'm immersed in this old world. You almost feel the ghosts of New York, of the people and the places, everything that came before you. That feels safe. It's part of why I love to be in Broadway theaters.
Yes.
Look at Ryan.
You see Ryan there? Love the bodega story. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live, Ryan. You're now a levity.
Ryan's my friend from Denver when I was, doing a show at the Denver Center.
Merlin in Ontario, Canada said, you're now a levity. I told you that wouldn't take long.
Gee,
to be a levity on one of the levities on the Jim Masters Show Live. Very cool. You're an old soul, aren't you? I am. My father has always said I was born 30 years too late. Mm-hmm. Just the way I think. And I know what you mean as far as trying to stay connected with a lot of what is happening today, because so much stuff seems so flash in the pan, superficial, instant gratification, nonsensical in a lot of different ways. And you got to go with a lot of it to stay alive, but at the same time, it doesn't mean you have to swallow it all. I
was always interested in formality. I always felt great when, like my personal like style. I like to dress in a slightly more formal way. I just feel the most like myself. Um, I was always attracted to that, and like Noël Coward, just kind of was interested in like I don't know, elegance is what I've always like. I went through a huge phase in middle school where I literally wanted to be Audrey Hepburn because I loved the way that she talked, and I loved the way there was a certain way about her that I found so charming, and sweet. And Audrey Hepburn actually had a huge it was the Audrey Hepburn phase when I discovered Henry Mancini. Like when I saw the movie Charade, I was homesick from school one day, and Audrey Hepburn running around Paris wearing Givenchy to a Henry Mancini score. Come on. I mean, that killed me. And then I know every line from that movie. I know every note from that score. It's just like everything I love. The other inspiration for When My World's in Tune is the composer Michel Legrand.
Oh, sure. Extraordinary. Yeah. Yeah.
I love his stuff, especially from Audrey. I love his stuff, especially from the 1960s. He has this song called Quand ça balance, which means when it swings. And it's just about the circumstances of when he feels like his life is great. It goes, Quand ça balance, on est deux, le jazz et moi. Je crois même qu'on est trois. La contrebasse, la batterie, le jazz et moi. Ça fait déjà plus que ça. Le vibre à fond, les trombons, le jazz et moi. Quand on s'est donné le la, il ne manque plus que les trompettes. Et puis voilà, ça m'a collé dans les doigts. Quand ça balance, là, je suis chez moi. C'est mon passeport, mon drapeau, ma Bible à moi. Dès que le tempo est là. That's Quand ça balance. When I heard that song, I couldn't stop listening. I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
I love how you do the segue. I love that. That's so beautifully done. Just from the conversation, go right into it, and then just come right back. So I was saying, yeah, really, really cool. So, so has it been, or was it when you were a wee teen, an uphill battle a little bit, wanting to be more formal, wanting to be more gentlemanlike, and really appreciating that world that we don't always necessarily see? I actually did a voiceover once. I don't know if I've told this story on this show. I did a voiceover once. I've done a lot of voice work, but this particular voiceover was done with this producer who told me, lose the polish. And I'm like, lose the polish? What are you talking about, lose the polish? He said, yeah, just, they just want to hear everyday people now, just an everyday voice, somebody that could have fallen off a truck or whatever. I said, really? I mean, the gravitas, the excitement of whatever it is and saying whatever this thing is that we're promoting or talking about, it's just all stripped. It's just, I can come in here and, my shorts and just go, all right, I think I like this. What is, just like that, as opposed to, hey, yeah, Jim, I'm like, how hard, what it took in the development and everything of all of this, and you're telling me to strip it? No, thank you. I can tamper it, but I'm not going to strip it out.
There is I think it's why I prefer the theater over television. I think you can still be real and have a sense of theatricality, which is what because if you notice when you watch television and movies, everybody's literally talking.
Oh yeah.
Why is everybody whispering?
They're all whispering now.
I'm like, because people don't talk like that. No, what are they doing?
Yeah, they're all whispering. And another big annoyance is the vocal fry. And now they're hiring people to do commercials that talk like that. Oh yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to take my shoe and throw it into the television screen. I don't want to pay for a new screen, but I want to take my shoe and throw it into the television screen. Nobody goes around all day long talking like that.
If
I'm
they
like,
did, they wouldn't have
where are the buttery voices? What happened to all the buttery sounds? Lauren Bacall doing cat food commercials, but with a buttery sound. What happened? What happened to that? I mean, now it's just like, Purina. I'm like, wait a minute. It's like, I got to go to the ear doctor and get something fixed here because I'm having nightmares of vocal fry. And that's that sound. And that, if you take that and you do that with up talk, I'm starting the car. I'm out. Seacrest out.
Yeah. I think that there is something about
it's like an entitled sound. It's annoying.
But it's funny because I wonder if, I don't know the answer, of course, but I wonder if it has to do with the fact that those old radio announcer voices, which of course I love, is if that sounds elite. You know, I am interested in like mid-Atlantic dialects. I mean, I don't know, maybe I speak a little bit in a mid-Atlantic accent. I try not to because I worry that I think it might have some classist and elitist implications, which is, I think it's one of the questions I'm asking with the album. It's like, how can we have this type of romance and this old world feeling, but make it something that's more inclusive of everybody, not just for the people that had access to that type of
that world, right?
Society sort of thing, you know?
Yeah. So, what's the answer to that? How have you been able to? Did you mix things into the album that give people little tastes from your perspective? How were you able to master that with the thought of, gee, I don't want it to sound elitist. I want it to be welcoming, but yet I also don't want to lose the polish, lose who you are, who Liam is.
I have songs about that range, you know, a lot of like a broad variety of topics. I've got When My World's in Tune. But I think it's about, first of all, just authenticity, writing what I feel and my points of view. I just have a new single out called Geraniums, and it kind of goes on this very sweeping journey about, the opening line is, "We will have geraniums," which was the first thing I wrote of the song, because that to me even seemed very romantic. That's not classist. It's a plant. In fact, it's a very modest plant that everybody has. They grow very easily. My geranium is still holding out there for the winter. It's going to go back outside when it's warm enough. I'm very proud of it, like I write about in the song. I write songs about matching pajamas. I have another song about the Plaza Hotel, and how I'm really excited for people to hear that one, because it's kind of that Kay Thompson 1940s sound mixed with kind of like a Stevie Wonder chromatic type chorus. I've got there's a I think a kind of wacky sophistication to it, perhaps you might say, which I'm so inspired by with Noël Coward. Kay Thompson, who, if people don't know, was like a big she was a big nightclub star in the 1940s. She wrote the Eloise books at the Plaza. When I listen to her music, she's really crazy. Her arrangements are crazy, but they're so classy,
right?
But not because they're talking about classist things. There's something about the authenticity and the musical intelligence of it that makes it just feel that way. So I was inspired by her writing, her arranging. So any Kay Thompson fans, I think, will dig this album. How many Kay?
What was the process like? I mean, how did you know what songs to pick? I mean, one of the things when doing, an album is really reducing the amount of songs. You have all these songs, and then you have to narrow it down, and they say, no, we got to narrow it down even more, and then you're down to this many songs. How did you know what to select and what to include in the actual album itself?
Some of the songs were combined into one song. I had little fragments of ideas. I have a couple of I've been writing songs for a long time, but part of this album is that it is a much more modern sound. It's not pastiche. I'm not really interested in nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. So I found some of my contemporary influences and I wanted to see how I could combine a slightly more modern sensibility, because I'm not interested in pretending like it's not the current time in which we live. That's not, I just I didn't want my first music to be that, which is why I didn't want to do any covers in my first music that I was releasing. I wanted to just really come out like bold with my worldview of original things before I started doing, because I do want to do some covers of songbook stuff. I have a lot of arrangements. I have a lot of new ideas. But I really didn't, in terms of this new material, that's this kind of pop jazz feel, I didn't really have that many songs to whittle down, so to speak. I just kind of, there are a couple that got scrapped, or maybe I still have them in my book. Maybe they'll turn into something else. I did have this one idea I couldn't get out of my head about these pieces of furniture that when the person leaves at night, the furniture, they have these like crazy sex parties. I just thought that was like a really fun idea, but I never.
What would you title that one?
I have no idea, but I've got the melody and I've got a couple of lyrics that really tickle me, but it's not there yet. And it just, it's, I don't know. Maybe it's too wacky. I don't know. I like wacky though.
Hey, wacky's in. Hey, you got to have the wacky side too, It's all about balance, isn't it?
I got a real wacky song about a middle-aged, retired, widowed slug who one day accidentally eats a cannabis cookie and then reinvents herself and saves the sinking slug economy.
Isn't that already happening? Or
setting trends.
Hey, look what we dug up.
Oh, hand to God.
Tell us, for those watching who don't know what this is, what we're seeing here. Very cool.
I got to be in this play called Hand to God, which is a play set in a small town in Texas about this boy, played by yours truly, and his mother. The father has died recently, and this kid, Jason's, the character I was playing, Jason's mother starts this puppet club at the church as almost a way of coping, to try to get her son involved in things, to like maybe help herself even. And they live in this conservative Christian environment. And then all of a sudden, this puppet that Jason starts using begins to perhaps become possessed by the devil. And it turns very, it's a comedy. It's a Black comedy, but it's also very sad. It's a play about grief. It's a play about how we can all take better care of each other. And I won an award for it. I loved, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. But it was the most rewarding thing I had ever done too.
That's incredible. Look at this.
Oh, London.
Yes. Tell us about this.
Well, I got to star in this musical in London called Eugenius. It's this 80s pop musical about this comic book nerd, Eugene. Again, there I am playing Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
And he writes this story about this like evil space villain, and the space villain ends up becoming like, he comes to life, and then there's like a romance with my friend Laura Baldwin, who you can currently see on the West End playing one of the stepsisters in this new Andrew Lloyd Webber Cinderella. I made some wonderful friends. I learned how to sing pop music. The demands of pop singers these days, they just have to sing higher and higher and higher. And and I'm really grateful that they got me a terrific voice teacher who taught me how to do it, and I've now adopted it into my teaching. I teach voice here in New York too.
Do you like being a part of musicals? Do you love that whole area of the arts?
Sometimes. I tend to like older musicals. I love melody. I really love melodies. Maybe it's a certain kind of melody that I'm attracted to. I don't know. Again, I don't want to turn my nose up at anything here, but I often think that if I had it my way, I would do plays and then I would have my own like concert singer-songwriter career, maybe the occasional musical, but I wouldn't consider myself a musical theater actor exclusively. Maybe I feel defensive about it. I don't know.
You like to keep the options open and have variety, right? I mean, if we were to listen to your iPod or your boom box or whatever you have your music in, what would we probably hear? What would you be listening to?
Well, should we find out?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Matter of fact, that's good lighting too from the cell phone.
Should I turn the brightness up?
I was gonna say, there you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry though. I need to get a ring light. That's another thing that actors now with all these self tapes, they also have to be their own film directors and producers and camera equipment and lighting.
You have to do it all now, right?
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
Let's see my library. Okay, so I was listening to. I love. What was I listening to last? I was listening to some bossa nova by Paul Desmond. There's this Bossa Antigua. This album is so good. It's because it's that very 60s. It's that Michel Legrand. The first track on the what key is it in? I think is it an A? Tugs at my heartstrings, that kind of stuff. I love my favorite album of all time that I listen to a lot is Miles Davis, Birth of the Cool.
Yes.
I'm really into Vince Guaraldi. I listen to mostly jazz and classical.
Yeah.
I'm a big jazz fan.
You love instrumental? You like instrumental music?
More over the lyrics, I got to tell you. I'm loving the new Lake Street Dive album. I think is awesome. That new Jon Batiste album, We Are. I mean, I'm not saying anything new here. He got more Grammy nods than anybody else this year. But
he is amazing, isn't he?
I'm so inspired by Jon Batiste. I think he is so cool because he, to me, has wacky elegance.
He really does. It's an interesting combination.
He's so classy. That guy.
Yes. Right.
But also insane.
But cool and hip and all of these things at the same time.
He's so talented, but he's very elegant.
And humble about it. Yes. And humble at the same time.
You can tell that, I mean, he's very open about it, but even if he didn't say a word about it, you can tell he's a very religious man.
Yes.
And I mean that in a very complimentary way. There's something he's connected to something much higher. It comes out in his music, it comes out in his spirit. He doesn't even have to open his mouth. And it is great. I love interviews with him, the way he talks. But that was a huge inspiration for the album too. Thank you for reminding me. I love that guy. I got to see him at the Carlisle.
Did you really?
Oh my God. It was so good. And the guest was Rachel Price, the lead singer of Lake Street Dive. You heard that new album?
Yes, absolutely. So oh my God. That must have been some night, a pinch me moment, huh?
Yeah.
Who are some folks you would love to, besides him, who are some folks you'd like to work with, duet with, play off of?
Yeah, definitely Batiste. You know who I really like? Rufus Wainwright.
Another great talent. Yeah.
He loves opera. You can tell he loves opera. I love opera. I went to this new production of Don Carlos at the Met on Monday night. Oh my God.
Good, huh?
Oh, the melodies. Melody.
I
And
know.
the singing was incredible.
So much melody has been taken away from our lives. We need to bring it back. You're bringing it back.
It's a different. I don't want to say like there's no melodies anymore. It's a different kind of melody that is in vogue, and I often don't respond to it as much. But so I'd love to work with Rufus Wainwright. He has a very kind of dreamy sound. It's very lush. It's very romantic. It has a very queer sensibility, of course, which I'm inspired by. I would say that Rufus and Jon Batiste would be the biggest current inspirations right now.
Yeah. Did you, I know you want to play some things and you've been sprinkling that in. Did you want to play something for our levity viewers watching around the world?
Well, what do you want to hear? You want to hear one of the singles, or should
Whatever comes to your heart and soul right now. What's going on in those fingers right now? What are you feeling? How do you
don't
feel?
want to know, Jim. You don't want to know.
Well, that's the scotch, but I mean,
Why don't I'll do When My World's in Tune. How's that?
that sounds good. Yeah. All right.
Another thing that I'm wondering is just how, I guess I'll be rehearsing in front of you. The one of the parts of the album that I'm so proud of is the arrangements. We really went to town on these arrangements. We have horns, we have strings, we have a bunch of guitar tracks, we've got backup vocals. I love to arrange. So then the question is, how can you still create that feeling with just this? So I guess I'm about to find
It's
out.
the authenticity. It's Liam, joined by Liam and Liam and Liam.
1, 2, 3, 4. When my world in tune, and I'm loving New York, and swinging down on Avenue A. The idea in my head and the beat of my heart will lead me to the love of the day. I say, hey, and how you doing? Got a couple things that I'm pursuing, tuning up my ears because I'm in the mood for a fling. Give me that swing. And I got a date with a melodious cat, run 110 the Riverside Drive, and he'll sing me a song, add some harmony, as we're riding on the 2 to the 5. God, you're a beauty like a statue. Sorry if I stop to marvel at you. Thanks for the collaborative afternoon. I'm swooning and my world is in tune. That's the horn part. When my world's in tune and have love in New York, and I hop in a cab to Washington Square, there'll be a connoisseur at some hole in the wall, and our chat will turn to quite the affair. See the village lit up like a postcard. We could see who's playing at the Vanguard. Afterwards a boulevardier served up in a coupe. But I will have one cocktail only. I bet that my piano's getting lonely. Waiter, could you bring a big and little spoon? Let's do that too. My lovely world is in tune. My world is in tune. My world is in tune. And one more.
Very nice, my friend. Very nice. Bravo, bravo. Really. You know, what's really cool too is your expressions and how you're really into it. I mean, you're all in. What happens when you're doing that? Are you transported somewhere? What's going on inside Liam? You're having fun.
To quote Noël Coward, work is much more fun than fun.
Even his eyebrows are musical, Ryan says. Toby says, I must be smiling big. Yes, absolutely. And Merlin in Ontario, Canada agrees. She says, love the expression on your face, really into it. Absolutely. Toby's watching in Encino, California, piano keys and claps. Catalina, New York City. That was great. Scatting too, good on ya from Toby in California. Really, really cool. A young Feinstein. Wow, Toby says. Very nice. Love that. Cool stuff. Jane in Sweden is watching. She's loving it as well. And Terry Ann is welcoming you. Lots of good levity here on the Jim Masters Show live. But you're really enjoying it, huh? That's a great song. I mean, that's a terrific song.
That chorus is, it's got that real Mancini feeling.
Yes.
I think that is one of the things on the album that makes me the most proud, that it's authentically joyful. There's a lot of joy in this album, and I'm really grateful that this album can express that joyful way that I feel. Not all the time, of course, but that's the final track on the album is called Gratitude Song, and it's about just that. It's about how, well, the middle section goes, can you tell from the way that I walk down the street? I got places to go, but I also want to meet anybody who might need to hear me repeat this chorus over again. It's the glow of the sun in a garden in May, and you know that I get sentimental and carried away. I'm trying to say I'm grateful when I feel this way. So that's like the middle section of Gratitude Song, and I think that set of lyrics might encapsulate what the album is kind of about. If I can spread some of this joy and some of the gratitude I feel, that for whatever reason today I woke up and I feel good. That was a big kind of pandemic lesson I learned. If you wake up and you feel good, like, go with it and be grateful that you feel good in this moment, because I don't know about you, it's been emotionally, it's been a lot of up and downs during this very difficult time, and things don't seem to be getting any less complicated, that's for sure, with what's going on in the world. So Burt Bacharach has a newish album that came out, and I was also super inspired by that. He's got this one track that he wrote with Daniel Tashian. Should I do it? It really moved me. He goes, we've been friends for a long time. You got your side of the story, and I've got mine. This chorus kills me. But anyone who knows us knows we're buddies, and that's a fact, 'cause we go way back. That makes me cry.
Yeah. Burt Bacharach, I mean, another, gee. Yeah.
His stuff was so sophisticated, and that's why I think I love the 60s. It's when jazz and pop, I think, were the most one.
It was an interesting, that whole sort of Dick Van Dyke Show era, just something about that whole way of just, when you watch the Dick Van Dyke Show, I always get sort of that vibe, just the way they dressed, the thin ties, the music, the comedy, the Carl Reiner, the Mary Tyler Moore.
You get it, Jim. You get it.
Yeah. That whole suburban New Rochelle thing, the martinis and the Millie across the street with Jerry. Right. There's just that. Yeah. It's just that whole, I wish we could have just locked that period in and maybe extended it longer.
Yeah.
Ryan has goosebumps.
Oh, thanks, Ryan. You're so nice to me. Thank you.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So again, this is really a fantastic, having an album is not an easy feat. What was the process actually like? How long did it take from the moment of inspiration? I want to do this and this is how I want to do it. And I wanted to reflect, the essence of who I am and express myself, but also relate to and reach people at different levels where maybe they're not even being reached now. Tell us about, that process of creating the album from the first bit of inspiration to completion. What was that like for you? It's a lot of work. I mean, when you listen to it, sounds easy breezy and everything, but behind the scenes, as I know, and takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, financial, everything to pull these things off.
Yeah. Part of any artist will know all about this. It's when you're doing something that matters so much to you, when you're creating something, you want it to reach as many people as possible, because you do want it to reach anybody who will be moved by it. And then of course you want to be able to make a living doing your art, which is not many people have the privilege of doing. So it's trying to strike that balance of, yes, I'm thanks for having me on, Jim. Thanks for giving me a platform to talk about it. I hope that I can reach some people tonight who might like it. So it's about, but I also often feel like I want to scream, I don't have a marketing degree. I don't know, but as artists, we kind of have to do that. So I've certainly learned a lot about that in the past, 6 months or so. We started really buckling down pretty much exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
I had my first in-person meeting in months with my friend Zach, who plays drums and produced the album, just about how we were gonna make it work. And then we got Geoff involved, who's a friend of Zach's, Grammy
nominee. What was it like working with him on this project, huh?
Well, Geoff is he's an expert in so many senses of just recorded music. He teaches at the New School about mixing and mastering and engineering. I didn't know what engineering an album was. I still don't really know what engineering is. I know it's a lot of it is about the way that you were recording it, what mics you're using, how many mics you're using, where you're placing them. There's so much that goes on to it. Again, I'm old fashioned. I hardly know how to work a computer. So, but you
got on tonight.
that's part of Geoff's genius. He also he does the horns for SNL.
Yes.
So he helped kind of oversee the horn arrangements. He oversaw the entire horn recording session. Mm-hmm. He's handling the horns at Rockwood when we do the concert in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
But I sent him, of course, a lot of inspiration tracks for the mixes of the album.
Yeah.
And we could not have done this album without Geoff. And I really trust his taste and his immense expertise. And he's a great guy. I love Geoff, and I can't wait to work with him again. If he'll ever work with me.
If he'll have you again. Now, why would he not? Why would he not?
Because I'm a crazy artist and I'm insecure. I don't know.
Are you a perfectionist?
Yeah.
You said that definitively. Most people, they'll pause. They'll say, well, only sometimes, or I'm a recovering perfectionist. There's really no such thing as a recovering. You pretty much are. Yeah. But it works for you, right? It works in your favor, or does it ever stop you in place?
I think my friends would certainly describe me as a particular person. I'm very particular about the things that I like, and it's important to me to know why I like them. And I've always been like that.
I like that. That's a good way to describe that. Yeah, not just that you like it, but you need to really understand why you like it. Yeah. I've always often said I don't follow the cattle as an expression, because I just am the same way. I like to feel it and know it and understand it. I'm not just liking it because it's the thing, it's the flavor of the month. I really, it's got to, I have to feel it. It has to touch me. You know what I mean? And then I want to take that and that inspiration and beam it out to others, sort of like a conduit, facilitator of the inspiration.
I said this at the master class at the Bushnell. I said, whatever strikes you when you find it, and it's important for artists to just absorb a lot of different kinds of things, because I love the idea that you never know what might hit you and what might inspire you or move you. Even if it's in something that's not your taste, there might be some kind of takeaway.
Keep your eyes open and ears open for everything, right?
Yeah, and if there's something that strikes you as cool, or it just kind of like, I think a lot of artists, any passionate people, if they get a certain reaction to something, like I remember the first time I saw this movie, The Young Girls of Rochefort, this 1967 Michel Legrand, Jacques Demy film, this insane movie musical that it's insane.
Yeah.
I just had this feeling like, oh, that's me. That's the aesthetic I've been waiting for my whole life. It was so stylish and colorful and elegant. And so I said to these students, when you have that reaction of, oh, that's cool, that is always correct. You know?
Right, exactly. That's a good way to look at it too. It's always correct.
If you have a response to it, then it is correct.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
But I think it's easy, especially I think in the age of social media, to just look at what everyone else is doing, and then you try to do what everyone's doing. If I tried writing an album like a lot of mainstream music, it would be terrible. It'd be terrible. I can't do that.
Right. So you're playing on your own strengths, on what, connects with you.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, fantastic, right? I know we've talked a lot about your singing and songwriting, the songwriting especially too. Tell us about that, composing, creating the music. What is that like for you, the process?
A lot of mental health stuff came up for us during the pandemic, because I live here in this apartment. So I spent a lot of time by myself, and it was tough. I felt like I was unraveling at certain moments. I discovered something wonderful when I was trying to finish the writing of this album, because we had deadlines to make, of course, and the whole album wasn't finished before we had kind of put plans into place. A lot of artists will say that you need a deadline, otherwise it's just not going to happen, which I need one. I noticed if I was wrestling with something, I was wrestling with a melody or a lyric or any kind of idea, I didn't recognize at the time, but if I was cruel to myself, why can't I get this? Like, what's wrong with me? Maybe I don't have it. I don't have it. If I went to bed with that energy, I would never be able to get anything done. If I allowed myself to say, we're going to release this tonight, it is all there. It is going to reveal itself in the way that it is meant to. I usually 9 times out of 10, I would get out of bed, I would come down, and then there would be something really nice that I was really proud of that ended up on the album. But only if I was gentle and allowed it to come through. If you start thinking it has to be this, no, that's bad. That's not a creative mindset.
That gets in the way. We had Melissa Manchester was a guest on the show.
Watched it, loved it.
Yeah, Melissa Manchester, music icon extraordinaire, fabulous person. She's going to be coming back again as a guest soon. When she was on, and I mentioned this to a couple of the guests who've come through the Jim Masters show, she said that, I said, what are some of the things that inspire you? But also, are there moments when all of a sudden inspiration just comes out of nowhere? And she said, That happens a lot, Jim. She said what can be happening is I'm waking up out of a dream, or I'm just walking across my living room, or whatever it could be. And when I get that inspiration and music is developing, in my head at that moment, I need to get right to the piano. I got to press my recorder on record, and I got to just start playing it out. I got to work whatever it is, whatever this inspiration is, this fervor is building up here. I got to release it, and I got to get it out of me, and I got to record it and save it as it's happening. Because if I wait and I fluff it off, or I just don't save it, it's going to dissipate. It's going to weaken, and I may forget all about it. Are you similar to like a Melissa Manchester, where as you are, whatever it is, you could be on a subway, doesn't matter. You just get this burst of information. Do you have to rush to the piano or whatever it may be in the recorder and just get it out and record it and save it as it's happening? Is that important to you, Liam?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If I'm not near the piano, I at least will just make one nice thing about technology and iPhones is that you can just make a voice memo. So I'll make a voice memo. A lot of the time it's just it's a lyric, or often it's a certain rhythm that I decide I need to have. So sometimes it'll just be like scat syllables, or I don't know. That's another song I have. I don't want to say. I have this crazy idea.
Well, you just said you have a crazy idea.
This kind of grotesque idea about like eating hot lasagna on a hot beach, and about how horrible that would be. I don't know.
Depends on who made that lasagna, I guess, huh?
But just like, can you imagine eating like hot lasagna on a beach, and the sun's beating down on you? Wouldn't that just be awful?
It's like having a hot chocolate, in 90-degree weather. It might not necessarily be too good.
Warm dairy on the beach. Not cute.
The ricotta cheese and
yeah. Anyway, so if I get an idea, I either put it into my recorder, or if I don't, I try to bring my music paper with me wherever I go. If it's a certain chord progression or melody, it's often coupled with a chord progression underneath it, and I hear it and I can just write it down. At least if I'm not notating the actual chords, I'm at least writing the chord that I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really, really cool. Do you, as far as things coming up, are there more acting opportunities? Because I know we've been talking a lot about your fantastic singing and songwriting, but of course, a great actor as well. Want to get more of that work happening, explore more? Are there some projects coming up in that vein?
You know what I'm dying to do? Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Is that public? Do people know, people involved in that? Do they know, or would you like to make the announcement here in case they're listening?
If they're listening,
Liam's available.
Hello, can I get an appointment? I really want to be on that. I really see myself on that show. That's in terms of television. I have a couple of promising auditions. We'll see. One never knows.
Television series that exist and things of that nature.
I don't know about television except for Maisel, but it's more theater stuff.
Yeah,
I have a couple of prospects. One never knows. As an actor, you just kind of have to do. You have to just do your thing, and not to be cynical, but statistically speaking, you're not going to get most things you audition for. So you do your best, and I pour my heart into it, and then you forget about it. Then you make something nice to eat, and
that's it. Dana in Canada was asking if you have formal training, and we talked about that earlier. Yes, as well. Some of the training and all these different areas.
Yeah, I've had a lot of voice training. Various voice teachers I worked with. My vocal guru is a woman named Adrienne Angel, who was the well, I can name drop, right? No, the viewers would be interested. She's
I love all that. Yeah.
Her biggest students currently are Bernadette Peters and Cher.
Those are some big students.
And Adrienne, it was like one of the main New York voice teachers, certainly working with musical theater people, and she mentored me for several years to be a voice teacher. So I owe kind of most of my vocal training. I owe my voice teacher career really to Adrian. And then I went to conservatory for acting and singing. I did dance class, which is a joke, but yeah. So I went to the Boston Conservatory. I got a theater degree, and this is kind of cheesy, but artists are like constantly in training.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Doing of it, you learn something every time you do something.
That's a good way to look at it too, because you really are. I mean, there's nothing in that stays stagnant. You know what I mean? You're always learning and always evolving and always growing.
When My World's in Tune, I learned something about what I want to do better when I perform it, on the piano, what I need to be covering. The horn line has to come in here. I need to get a better breath. I need to feel my ribs expand on this, all this stuff.
Are you learning some of this on your own too, as you're doing it? Is there some self-teaching that's happening along the way? Sounds like it. Sounds like you're very observant. You're able to pick up on various things yourself, which is amazing.
I've been doing meditation, a lot of meditation these past couple of years, and there's this one term that I've been using in my teaching, and I want to implement it into my day-to-day life. This guided meditation I was doing was talking about using the kindness of your attention. And I love thinking about it in that way, that it's actually a very kind act to just like really be mindful of what you're doing. So it's not that I'm criticizing myself as I go through a performance, but I remember what it felt like as I was playing it. This groove was good there. Knowing when, with the piano, what parts I need to isolate on my left hand, get that feeling. You rehearse enough times, it feels completely habitual. You don't have to think about it. The training is in the rehearsal too.
Mm-hmm.
I've got this one. I've been practicing. There's this one piano part on the third track on the album called Bijou that it's quite notey, and I really want to make sure that I nail it. So I've been waking up every morning, and usually the first thing I do is play the interlude in Bijou.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, when you have an opportunity to realize these things that you're realizing as you're going along and picking up these various little nuances, I think it's really spectacular. And that's why you're able to teach it to other people. You love the teaching aspect of what you do, Liam?
I can't tell you
how
much I love it. I love to teach. I taught all day today. Loved it. I'm a Cancer. I get very maternal.
Right.
With my students. It feels, maybe I get like too involved, but I love my students, and I really believe in them, and I'm so proud of them. Yeah. And I also enjoy, I feel very proud of taking on the role of, I feel like a lot of my job as a voice teacher is to really see every person for exactly who they are.
Yes.
And then celebrate them, because I really do think that people are only gonna blossom if they feel empowered, and they deserve to feel empowered because they're paying me. I always have to remind people of that. Right. I'm working, especially with like a lot of these, high-end voice teachers who are, I'm sure teach great technique, but I think students can often start to feel as if they have to really deliver at this voice lesson, so that maybe that voice teacher will talk to a certain higher up about them so they can have a job. And I just don't think that that's an environment where you can grow. So the first thing I always tell students is like, don't forget, like, I'm working for you. You are not working for me. You don't have to impress me. That's not what this is about. If anything, I have to impress you.
Right. I like that. That's a beautiful way to look at it, because not everybody does look at it that way, There's a lot. Show business is so cruel and harsh.
And I just don't want to. I don't want to be perpetrating any of that. We need more gentleness, and we need more. That's artistic. That's what's going to foster, I think, more like authentic artistry, and that's what we need.
It's so true, right? Exactly. And you're getting a chance to express it through your art and through your work. Exciting things coming up in terms of the promotion of the album. Oh, I do want to show a couple of cool shots we have here. Look at that shot.
That was Peter and the Starcatcher.
So what was it like being a part of that, Liam?
Oh gosh, it was great. It's where I met my friend Jen Thompson, who's she's directing this next national tour of Annie that's going out in the fall. That's where I met Jen Thompson. She's arguably the only reason I work as an actor, because she hires me. But that's it was at the Pioneer Theater Company in Salt Lake City. I get cast in a lot of that's The Secret Garden. I played Dickon.
That's a cool shot.
I love doing that. I play a lot of those kind of ethereal types.
Yeah.
Where you don't quite know if they're human or some otherworldly creature.
Or some otherworldly creature. Yeah.
But oh, that's me. Hey, that's my face.
Now that's a good shot. Where was that taken?
That was taken at a music video shoot and you will see that music video shortly. Stay tuned.
So that's cool. I love the blue effect too, the color and just everything.
And there's there was haze in that shot too.
Yeah. Is this indoors or is this outdoors?
In.
What gives it that feel like it's an outdoor thing?
It's I think the haze.
That one I like too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like that one.
Now, did that one require a lot of goop removal after too, like the other one, or no?
No, just the only goop was the bodega. It's just when I have my hair in that weird side part.
The side part, to keep it in the side part, because
it kind of goes into like one of those 1920s, 30s finger waves. But that's mostly natural.
What are you thinking? What's the expressing?
What was I thinking there? Look good.
Look good.
Make sure your neck looks long like Audrey Hepburn.
I've been sitting in this position for 2.5 hours. They took 400 rolls of film. Have they got the shot yet? I'm starving.
Well, I am usually hungry, so I was thinking about food.
Look good. Look good. Cut to the chase. Look good. We Irish have a sense of humor. We are born with it. We are born with it.
They're very funny, those.
And it's available for a price too, folks. Merlin gives you smiles. And Sherry Larson's here from Kansas. She says, hello, my lovities. You're already a lovity as well. And
honored to have the title.
That's love the photos from Kathleen in New York City. What great picture in blue. And Toby says, and a lot of times reverse psychology works best. I love reverse psychology. I love psychology no matter what. Just the study of people and how interesting they are. Just get in your car and try to drive on the highway without being killed. It was a fun drive coming back from Massachusetts. It was like, what are they rushing to? What's going on? What is behind us that's chasing everybody? What is happening? Is there a tidal wave? Is there a big boulder coming down the highway? What's the rush? You're rushing to your grave. Yeah. Just don't take me with you. Everybody's in this real furious rush, blah, blah, blah. You spent 40 grand on that car you're driving. Don't you want to enjoy the car?
That's one nice thing. And I've noticed with my, all of my students who, I hadn't seen in person in years. When we come back, I notice they all are able to be more mindful. This forced pause instead of coming
Yes.
and I've got this audition and I have to get the costume.
Da-da-da-da-da.
I'm
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, nah, do you have to get them to think we think that we can control. It's what the second song on my album is about. It's called I Don't Know. It's just about, we think that we can control what people are thinking about us. And that's delusional. We can't control what people are thinking about us, and it's not our business what they're thinking about us. It's very hard to learn as an actor. I'm going to go in and I'm going to make them love me. No, you're not. You can't control that. You can't control if they're going to love you. We think that we can, but we really can't. It's just go in and try to tell the truth, you know. But I think when people before the pandemic were going in with more of that energy, I got to make them love me and I've got to get this right. And people are thinking in a more artistic way now. And
Yeah.
if I could have played some part in that, that would make me feel very proud.
No, absolutely. Did you want to play something else for us, my friend? Since
Sure.
you're in such a beautiful and jovial mood this evening. And they've got the keyboard, you've got everything right there in front of you. We don't see it, but believe it, there is one in front of him.
What about Geraniums, my second single that you can also now stream?
Sure. What inspired that besides the plant behind you?
I wrote it last February, and I was not in a good mental place.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. Yeah.
And I was just sitting on the couch, and I had a plant that I had bought a couple of weeks ago, and I looked down at the plant, and it just was kind of like perked up. It looked like it was glad to be there.
Yep.
And I looked down at it and I said, "Hello." It was like, "Oh, well, you look like you're enjoying yourself." So that brought me joy. So then I just thought, and then I came up with the line, "We will have geraniums," which is the opening lyric. And then it kind of wrote itself. That one came very quickly. Not all of the songs on the album came quickly, but this one kind of did come quickly.
The plants, the animals, the ocean, the sun, they had no idea that there's a pandemic. They just were doing their thing. I kept telling everybody during this pandemic to go to the constants, go to nature, go to the ocean. I'm an ocean person. Go to the ocean and just get in touch with the things and the rhythm of life and the tide and watch the squirrels, whatever it is, go to a zoo, go to a botanical garden, just go out in your backyard and surround yourself with the things that are here, that have been here well before you, that'll be here well after us. It seems like the world's just being disassembled and you don't, the things you love are going away, all of that. There are still a lot of things that are fantastic and beautiful and natural all around us in our busy, crazy, TikTok, email, text, running here, running their lives. There are some other things that are really grounding around us, and surround yourself when it seems like the world is, we are being chased by a tidal wave or a boulder coming down the highway. Slow down and breathe and appreciate all of that. That's what I've been telling everybody during the pandemic. And they're like, you're right. I forgot about that. I can go outside and I can just walk through a forest or go to swim in the ocean. And yeah, it's there waiting for you.
I love the way you put that. Yeah.
And music is very healing. Music is very, you just can be swept up and the range of emotion that you get from it. So, and a lot of people have been, and it's another thing, in addition to baking all that sourdough bread, they've been watching nostalgic television shows, listening to nostalgic music and films, bringing out vinyl, playing with childhood toys, whatever it is, bringing back this sense of just,
comfort.
Yeah, comfort foods and all of it, and just feeding the soul with things that maybe we sort of forgot about, made passé. I never did. It doesn't sound like you do, but generally there's a society and a forward movement made passé, and now when the chips are down, see, like these have been your go-to things through your life. These have been my go-to things. But right now, a lot of people, it's their go-to things because it's what provides the comfort and the grounding and the solace and the meaning of everything and the reasons why and the feeling and all of this. And it's just interesting that, what is daily for us is comfort now for a lot. It's a beautiful thing. I'm glad. But it's just an interesting thing.
Yeah.
We go deep sometimes on the Jim Masters Show live, and the audience loves that too. That's why I don't script anything. It's, I've done a lot of scripted television and all, and I don't script. I like to just let it roll and just let it flow. And Dana says, having a piano staring you down day after day, begging you to come make some magic. I love that. Merlin says, okay, Liam, sweep us up with music.
Shall I?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
This is Geraniums, and here I go.
Here he goes.
We will have geraniums when the ground starts to smell of dirt and sproutlings start to climb toward the sky. We'll make it out of this winter if we try. I'll care for you and sing to you away from the crowd, and our geranium will make us so proud. Or I will have geraniums in an interior window box. When sun starts slipping through on the slide, oh, it's just you and me, darling, don't be shy. I'll care for you and sing to you away from the crowd, and my geranium will make me so proud. It'll make me so proud. It'll make me so proud. Crimson bloomed geranium, take it from me. Your heart is sage and fervent old thing, and a sparrow is on the wing, and I will have geraniums in the spring.
That's really beautiful, Liam. That is really, really beautiful. When you play that, it's really interesting, and some of the levity viewers have observed it, and I did right away. You really are totally immersed. You're not just playing for the sake of the playing, just for the entertainment value. I mean, that's part of it. This is all entertainment, but you're feeling it, you're reliving it, you're it's flowing through and out of you, and you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? You can actually feel it. I think that's what's cool about us seeing you, as in addition to hearing you do it, but to see the expressions. This is cool because I'm sure, and our audience is always very proactive, they're going to be getting the album, they're going to be playing it over and over again, because they're actually seeing, which is what I love about when we do these shows, is they're seeing the artiste doing his thing right in front of us in a way that is very empowering. And you really do live and breathe it as you are performing it, don't
you? Thank you. Thank you is, I guess, the short answer. I don't.
If you say no, that's going to blow everything I just said.
I'm a big phony. I never feel a thing.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Just sell those tickets.
I don't.
That's one thing you're not, Liam. You're all about it. That's what it is. You feel it.
I don't think I
know
don't
how
think
not
I can
to.
help it.
Right.
I think it just.
I get it. That's why I identify it.
I'm so romantic, you know. No
Yes.
geranium emoji. I know. I looked on my Instagram because when I was posting, no geranium emojis.
Yes, right. The story. Yeah. Comments coming in from some of our lovely viewers who are watching from around the world. We're a very interactive show. Nikki's here. She says good vibes as well. And claps from Kathleen, and beautifully done from Terry Ann and Sherry as well. Hearts coming in from Kansas, and good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, they've all been on a search for the geranium emojis. Gonna have to talk to the Google people. Hey, Google, get some geraniums in there. You got everything else. Dog bones.
We'll start a trend.
What gives you great blessing and joy, my friend, to do what you do? Obviously, you've carved and you continue to carve Liam's path, your own path. And it's an interesting thing, because I've always done that. Not that you don't do what you do and what you have to do and all of that, but still, if you stay true to who you are through it all, if through all of the fog and the mist and the things that come your way, you're still underneath, you got the train on the track and it's going somewhere, and it's still the essence and authenticity of who Liam is as a person and what he wants to say and what his message is and what his voice is about. It's a beautiful thing. What are some of those things in your life that keep the train on the track for you and keep you moving forward, expressing yourself in the unique and authentic way that you do?
It's probably the only time that I've found success is when I do follow that impulse that tells me that I like something, even if, I like to figure out why I like something. I don't know why I'm like that, but anything that brings me comfort, anything that sparks joy or inspiration, if I follow that, I have to believe that will not steer me wrong. It's I've learned it first as an actor, and now I guess I'm putting it to the test with my original music. Will people like it? I hope they will, but I can't control that. I can't control if people are going to like it. But what I can control is when I listen back to this album, I say, it sounds like me. Yeah, that sounds like what I want to say. That sounds like the type of thing that I think it sounds cool. So just trusting my instincts and keeping the romance high.
It's a blessing to have an opportunity to be able to do that, and to love what you do and do what you love. I just think it's really fantastic to be able to do that. And Terry Ann, thank you very much. Nice orange colors there. She did our super chat in support of our show. Thank you very much, Terry Ann. Very kind of you. I really, really appreciate that. beautiful person Terry Ann is. She started as a viewer who watched these shows that we do live in the archives on a YouTube channel. And then I said, we do this series live. She says, oh my God, you do? I said, yeah, well, join us live and you can actually participate in the show. So she hasn't missed, I think, a single show since, which I think is a beautiful thing. A couple of comments coming in as well. And again, thank you very much, Terry Ann, for that super chat you just did live in chat. How do you make yourself play a song with conviction that you do not enjoy playing? So if it's a song or a style of music or whatever, it's not your cup of tea necessarily, but it's in front of you and you have to tackle it.
A bassist friend of mine once said, and this is advice he got from one of his mentors, when you're doing a gig, your favorite song is the one you're playing.
Yeah. That
it's the gig. Just do the gig.
That's, it's very true. He cuts to the chase with it all, because I've asked that we've had some really legendary musicians come through too. I mean, they've played on even some of they were the musicians with Harry Mancini and Bacharach and Diana Ross and session musicians and commercials and film scores. And I'm like, gee, that must have been incredible as you guys are in the studio and you're recording it and the violins are sweeping and the piccolos and the guy with the triangle and just all of this. And it's a gig, Jim. We were paid that day rate and it's a gig. And then we got in the car and we went to the next gig. And I'm like, but wait, that aren't you like, as you're doing it and you're like, aren't you like feeling it? Or like, of course we are. And but we go in, it's a task. It's part of our job. There's a job part of it as well. And it's difficult. It's not easy. And there's challenges and it's a gig. But what about when you're in the movie theater and it comes on the screen and you hear it and they're like, that's nice. It's interesting. It really is an interesting thing,
Mm-hmm.
But, do you ever feel that way sometimes? It's a gig.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I often when, part of what I do when I'm teaching is I'm recommending repertoire. And people always want my input. Do you like the song? What do you think about the song? I try as much as I can to actually leave my personal preferences out of it, because I'm assuming if they've brought it in, they really love it. And who the heck am I to say that's a bad song? Well, but they like it. And again, and so if they like it, they'll do it. They'll do it well. I probably wouldn't do it well because it doesn't speak to me, but it speaks to them. So who the heck am I?
Right.
But
exactly.
But then it's just a purely logistical thing from that point of view. It's just like, okay, so would this work well for an audition setting? Again, that's kind of my opinion, but I have certain ideas about what makes an audition cut work, what makes it doesn't. But then also, I often tell people, you just tell me to buzz off and I will, because you're going to do what you want to do and you should.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. That's old school. Buzz off. That's an old school one.
Hey, buzz off, kid.
Yeah.
I always think of that. What's his name in Wait Until Dark says that to George.
Oh, yeah. Right. I know.
Oh my God. I loved that movie when I was a kid.
Did you say, oh my God?
Yeah.
You know who played God, right? Mr. George Burns.
Ah,
there he is. He always appears on our show with his dapper. Talk about dapper, huh? Look at his tuxedo and his red hanky and his cigar. He's always here. And he says he's enjoying this. He's enjoying your talent and your wit and wisdom. Lovely coming from Mr. George Burns. Talk about old school, huh? He lived to 100. And you'll love this. My Aunt Lillian, one of my mother's sisters, from West Hartford, Connecticut, collected dolls of all kinds. And when he turned 100, she collected George. And it got passed down to me by my cousin Barbara, who's in Newington.
Wow.
And so he's a part of the Jim Masters Show Live with his class. Polish. Cool stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Mr. George Burns in the house. Take a look at a couple more comments and then Yeah, I love this. Look at this. This is coming in from Dana. This is a great way to look at it. Just don't let them see you roll your eyes. Thank you, Jim and Liam. Many blessings to you as well. Does a great song practically play itself? That's interesting.
That's another thing that I think when back in the day, the song had to stand on its own because and I say this purely as like from a factual point of view. It could just be the song because there was very limited technology about how to even go about recording it. So it was just the piano, it was just the band playing it. Now, part of the art of recording music, and I say this with appreciation and reverence, a lot of the art is about the actual production and the different effects that are put on things and the different sounds and the pedals and the loops and the reverb and the different effects, which again is an art form all its own. I'm not poo-pooing it, but
it's very true.
So the songs had I think a different type of structure. So I think what I would consider, I mean, of course, everyone has probably opinions about what a good song is. I think a great song is like something that tells a story, something that has a melody.
Yeah.
Something that just has like a point of view. I could list off a million different ones and why I love them, but I won't go into it.
Yeah. Do you like Christmas music?
Of course.
I knew that. I knew that. I do too. I love it. Do you listen to it sometimes when it's not Christmas? Does it make you feel good when you listen to it?
No, I have very strict rules about it.
Like a radio station, does it start at midnight, like Christmas Eve to Christmas Day, or?
I don't indulge before the 1st of December. And
1st of December.
And usually after Christmas Day, I've had it.
Yeah. See, now if you're listening to probably like the Percy Faiths and the Henry Mancini versions and all the rest, then it probably doesn't. If you hear the same 12 songs that they play on the radio all the time, that can get very grating.
Mel Torme's Christmas album, I laughed so hard with my friends. He does this insane key change in the middle of Silver Bells.
Yes.
Have you heard this? It's insane.
Oh, Mel Torme, absolutely, sure.
He literally goes, it's Christmas time in the city, ring-a-ling. And he goes to a different key.
He does, yeah. It goes, yeah.
It's so insane. I love it. That Mel Torme Christmas album is pretty good.
It's really
But my favorite, of course, is I know it's probably pretty basic, but the Vince Guaraldi is just so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you're loving the ride. Tell us what's coming up again. And again, congratulations on the album, my friend. And this has been a breathtaking conversation, not just talking about the album, which is a key part, but really just having a wonderful conversation. That's what I tell everybody. These are not interviews on our show. These are conversations, sort of Dick Cavett style. And the audience learns about the guests. They learn more about the host. They learn more about one another, which I think is fantastic. And there's, again, one of the songs from the album. This one is When My World's in Tune. Tell us again about some of the cool things that are coming up in celebration of the album itself.
Well, the big event is going to be on the day of the album release. You can pre-order the album on Apple Music right now.
Oh, great.
It's already on pre-sale. So you can also get a sneak peek of the track list. I think we're going to debut the actual album artwork, which was taken in this very corner of my apartment. And
Was it really?
This fantastic fashion photographer to take it. And it's my friend Sam did the art direction. It's going to be really insane. And but the album release is happening on Friday, the 25th of March. There's going to be a big concert party. It's going to be a pretty big band. My friends Tyrone and Kiana, who sang backup on the album, they are both going to be at this, and I'm thrilled and honored that they're doing it. Zach is going to be there. The producer Geoff is going to be blowing on some sax solos. He's dealing with the horn section.
That's awesome.
We're going to have a lot of fun. So come to the album release if you're in town, if you're in New York, on March 25th, and buy the album, and please share it. I have a better shot at reaching more people, and anybody
Great to be
who might
Here's
need
the
to.
album.
Yeah,
right?
Great to Be Here, it's called. And you can follow me on Instagram too if you want to stay abreast of everything that's going on. Liam.Forde.music. Liam Forde Music.
And Rockwood Music Hall is the location where it's going to be happening on the 25th, which is fantastic. And are you already working on other material? And a lot of times when people have something coming out, they are already thinking about some of the next stuff that they want to do.
I've been bitten by the composition bug again, for sure. Things are in their infancy, but just started.
Terry Ann wants a Christmas album now from you. See what we started?
I got some. I actually have this insane arrangement of Kay Thompson's Holiday Season that I did at Birdland last December.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really proud of it. I've got this arrangement of Holiday Season, and Billy Stritch and I end up doing a four-handed piano.
Oh yeah, Billy.
Yes, love that guy.
He's fantastic.
Yeah,
he stopped by our show too, and he and the gang, great people, good stuff. Yeah.
So I have a lot of ideas about a Christmas album. So stay tuned, Terry Ann.
Stay tuned, Terry Ann. You'll hear it first on the Jim Masters Show live for sure. My friend, this was really awesome. Getting an opportunity to connect, and we seem to know a lot of the same people and kindred spirits in many different ways, as far as just the approach to life. Have a good time, be good to people, kindness, empathy. Everybody live their life their way and enjoy what you enjoy, and just come together, and everybody's welcome to the table. And life is short, life is precious, so enjoy the music. If you're not making the music, enjoy the music that's made, or go out and make some music, as you're doing, Liam. And really a terrific opportunity to chat with you, and we'll keep the porch light on for you, my friend. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and that you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you.
Absolutely. I sure did. Thanks so much for having me, Jim. This is so nice.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Just a little taste of what it's all about here on the show. And Jane's already putting her order in. Have Liam back, Jim. She's there in late night right now in Sweden with more music. Absolutely. And Terry Ann says, thank you, Jim and Liam. Absolutely. And Terry Ann says, Liam, the beautiful voice and chatting, make that Christmas album. They're already putting the orders in for the Christmas album. And Jane in Sweden says, thank you, Liam, for being with us tonight. Thanks, Jim, for having him. My pleasure. Kathleen in New York City, thank you for being here, Liam, and for sharing your music. I just thought of, do you speak any Gaelic at all with the Irish father?
No, just a bit of French.
Now, folks, did that not come out of left field? Did you not expect him to say that? His father's from Ireland. I asked him, does he speak any Gaelic? No, but just a little bit of French.
I love France. What can I say?
That's it. Michel Legrand, going back, who we lost not that long ago. It's a very good time with you, Liam. Thanks a lot from Merlin in Ontario. Speaking of the French, Sherry Larson, thank you joining us tonight. I'll have to catch this in the archives, so she's going to watch it again, and it's archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Good stuff, gang. We love all of this, and this was really a pleasure, my friend. Good luck with the album and everything coming up. Keep me posted. Let's stay connected. New friends made here, and it was really a pleasure having you stop by the Jim Masters Show.
Thanks a million, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. Spread the word about the show. We would love that.
Sure thing.
You take care, my friend.
You too.
Refill that glass. You sang for your supper, so you've earned it.
Just might.
That's it. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And the Irish toast is sláinte, of course, right? Sláinte for Liam there. Really cool having him on the show. We really appreciate all of his time, his wit, his wisdom. He's authentic. He's funny. He's talented. Singer, songwriter, actor. You got a chance to learn more about him. And of course, if you didn't see some of these other photos of the other things he's done over the years as well, we went through quite a bit of good stuff here. And the album, again, great to be here. Check it out. You're going to love it. I do want to let you know tomorrow, too, we've got more music live and direct from Florida. Singer and songwriter extraordinaire and happy music guitarist. Talk about music with a positive message. Amber Crowley is here live from Florida. She's going to play live for us, too. We're very excited about that. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then Saturday night, 3-part harmony Celtic singing group. They're all excited. So excited to have them here. Their first time stopping by the Jim Masters Show Live, entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Yvonne Fair is going to be here. The ladies are going to be here, and they are going to play live, and we really look forward to that. Then Sunday afternoon, we have illustrator, children's book author Ashley Belote. She's going to be with us. That's going to be amazing. On Monday, actor, producer, author Sean Kanan, who you know from The Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful, Karate Kid 3, Cobra Kai, General Hospital, and of course, Studio City on Amazon Prime. This will be his third visit to the Jim Masters Show Live. That's right. He's been on our show 3 times, and we absolutely love it. He's a big fan of our show. Brilliant actor, coming to us live and direct from Hollywood on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Really, really cool. Speaking of, we mentioned Saturday Night Live, Christine Ullman, who's actually originally from Connecticut, she has been a vocalist with the Saturday Night Live band for a long time. She's going to be with us live. She's the Beehive Queen, acclaimed singer and songwriter. Christine Ullman is going to be with us. We're looking forward to that. My buddy Dwight Turner is going to be joining us soon. Brilliant actor. Next week, we also have Los Angeles writer and journalist Jeff Sweat's story. Now, maybe you saw this on Inside Edition, but he and his entire family contracted COVID. He's got 3 children, married in Los Angeles. He's a brilliant writer. Again, he has his own PR and marketing company as well. And he said, and it's an incredible story, he said it on Inside Edition as well. He's going to be talking about this riveting story. He had a tracheotomy and everything because he got COVID-19. And he really believes that opera singing, I won't give too much away, but opera singing actually helped him recover and get his voice back. Yeah, that's an amazing story and a beautiful story. And we're going to be talking about that with Jeff on Tuesday, which is really amazing. That's going to be a very, very inspiring story. But we thank Liam for joining us here on the show, gang. And of course, we thank all of you for joining us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Let's take a look at a couple more comments before we wrap things up. I still have to eat. You know, I was on restaurant shoots up in Massachusetts, but we only nibbled for camera. We have a ton of leftovers here. If I don't eat some of the leftovers, the crew is ravenous. Amber's absolutely amazing. Yes, she's going to be here. Absolutely. Ice cream cone. No ice cream cone. No. You know what we have? You're not going to believe this. At one of the places we went to in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, they make this bread pudding, the Samoa bread pudding. And you know what's in it? I couldn't believe this. It's unbelievably good. Samoa Girl Scout cookies are actually in the recipe of the Samoa bread pudding. And we have some, and we're going to be digging into it as soon as I wrap this up. Can't wait. I got to talk fast. From Sweden, Jane says, good night, everyone. And Jim, see you tomorrow. Again, this is our live audience. I realize many of you watch this later on in the archives when we're not live. We're talking to the live folks right now. You as well, Jane in Sweden, Kathleen in New York City. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Once again, Terry Ann, thanks very much for that super chat that you did. That was so beautiful. You're welcome, Sherry Larson there in Kansas. Absolutely. Yes, the bread pudding, but with the Samoa Girl Scout cookies in the recipe. This is going to be amazing. I can't wait to have that. And Good stuff. You guys are great. Dana says, thank you both so much. Loved this show. Thank you for being with us as one of our regular Levity viewers. Terry Ann says, thank you, Jim and Liam. Our pleasure. Absolutely. Good stuff. Thanks for these great comments. And again, feel free if you didn't get a chance to comment live here during the show. Terry Ann says, oh, wow, Samoa bread pudding. Yummy. I know. That bread pudding looked good. Oh, yes, that's right. I took video of it and put it on the Facebook page. You can find me on Facebook at Jim Masters TV, Twitter and Instagram at Jim Masters TV as well. Feel free to like and follow and all the rest. Our YouTube channel right here is Jim Masters TV. We're over 600 plus episodes of our series are housed for your binge watching pleasure. So subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you never miss any of our incredible live episodes of our series. And also, if you enjoyed this episode and any of the episodes you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up. There's a little thumbs up icon on our YouTube channel there. Give it a thumbs up, a like, and also leave a comment on the YouTube channel. Many of you have been doing that lately. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That helps us big time. YouTube likes to see that. And when that happens, they take the episode and they blast it out even further to the rest of the world. Yeah, we are seen by viewers who watch us in the United States, Canada, throughout Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, New Zealand. And it's really, really a beautiful thing. So a couple more comments here. Bread pudding, as I know the bread pudding. I know the bread pudding is something else. Can't wait to have it. We're going to have it right now. You guys are the best. We have a brilliant, beautiful audience here that watches and follows and supports of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. We will be back tomorrow. Again, lots of great music, positive messages too, as Amber joins us live and direct from Florida. Amber Crowley will be here. It's going to be terrific. And again, don't forget Saturday, the 3-part harmony Celtic singing group extraordinaire Avon Fair. They're in New York City, and they are going to be joining us on Saturday. So we look forward to that. All right, gang. We love you all. Thanks for being with us. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time till next time. I'll be waiting for you right here in this chair, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific tomorrow on the Jim Masters Show Live. Take care. Be well. We don't say goodbyes here. We just say cheers, slancha, aveda zane, ciao, sayonara, and all the rest. And thank you very much. You're looking for some of that bread pudding, aren't you, Nikki? You guys are the best. We'll see you again soon on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Take care and be well. Cheers.